Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another Garnet Trust exclusive interview. Today, I am here with Gamecock Baseball's Gavin Casas. Gavin, how are we doing today, man?
Doing good, man. Getting ready for the season. Excited. Just excited to be back out there.
Yeah. Speaking of the season, how are you feeling with your body and everything? You ready to go for opening day?
Yeah. Everything's feeling pretty good. Everybody has their little ailments. I mean, everybody's dealing with their own things. So, to say I'm 100%, I mean, I don't think you're ever 100%. But yeah, no, healthy, ready to get after it.
Yeah, what's the off season kind of been like for you? What's kind of been the areas where you're really trying to work on?
Yeah, that's a great question. So, ending the season how we did last year, really set a pit in my stomach. I didn't like how that went. So in the off season, the goal was to improve athleticism, right? Obviously, if you're more athletic, you can do more things on the field. You can move better. You can swing harder, better bat speed, all that good stuff. So it was really improving athleticism and improving running. Um, I was able to stay here in Colombia for the whole summer, so I got a good summer in with Billy. Felt like we made some strides, and I'm happy with where we're at.
Yeah, definitely. So you touched on a little bit with how the feeling of last season went, but kind of a little bit before that, you had a pretty good Columbia regional where you won the most valuable player and all that. Just take me through what kind of was clicking for you, getting hot at the right time, and obviously you guys as a team were kind of going through a little bit of a rough stretch in May, right before Hoover, and then obviously you guys get eliminated pretty early on in the SEC tournament, but then things for you and the rest of the guys are clicking once the real postseason begins. Just what was that like?
Yeah, it was interesting. Definitely toward the end of the season, we started scuffling a little bit. I mean, we had to deal with some big injuries, and we had guys weren't that weren't available, and that hurts a team a lot, especially when it's on the pitching side. Um, for me personally, like going into that regional, I remember not feeling great at the plate. I think I didn't get a hit like the whole SEC tournament, which was tough. Um, but going into it, I mean, everybody's 0-0 and everybody's hitting zero. So you kind of go into it with that mindset, and at that point, it's either you perform or you go home. And we weren't ready to go home, and playing in front of our fans in our home stadium, it was huge for us, and that environment is really second to none. And all credit goes to the fans. Honestly, they make that environment the way it is, and yeah, it's unlike anything else.
Was that kind of what you originally envisioned, like when you heard from like other guys when you originally transferred here that this place gets pretty loud and stuff and the fans are really into it, or did it kind of exceed your expectations when you first got to see what it was like?
No, it's interesting because at Vanderbilt, while I was at Vanderbilt, my sophomore year, we played here
Oh, that's
against South Carolina. And I remember walking in, and we're coming in through left field, and I'm looking around. I'm like, this place is sick. Like,
right.
our practice day on Thursday, we got to go on the field. We got to hit BP. I was like, dude, this place is sick. Like, I would definitely play here. And we ended up we ended up losing that series, I think. Um, but yeah, the fans were electric. So going into the portal, I knew that I wanted to stay in the SEC, and I knew that I didn't like the cold. And if you look, I mean, it's either I didn't want to be in Florida at all, so South Carolina to me made the most sense, and thankfully, we made it happen.
Yeah, definitely. I feels like it was the right decision, man. You hit a lot of homers last year. Do you have a favorite homer or moment from last season that you felt like was stood out above the rest?
The Clemson series, I mean, the Sunday Clemson games, or the Sunday Clemson game. The two homer game, though, I mean, I think that tops the list, right? Obviously, big rivalry, and to kind of hit those to secure that win, it felt good. It felt really good.
I can imagine. I can imagine. I was actually watching the highlights from that series today, just to kind of remember what you did last year. I mean, you hit so many homers, did so many good things at the plate, and yeah, no, that Clemson series was crazy. But kind of now shifting to the end of the year when you guys do go down to Gainesville, you get swept. What was the immediate, like? Obviously, you guys were all pretty sad. I mean, there's let's not lie about that. It was pretty, bummed out and stuff that you guys couldn't finish the job and get to Omaha for the first time since 2012. But what were the days after, kind of like? What do you remember about like getting back to Columbia, and what was kind of like the message like?
Right. So obviously a lot of emotions are going on. Guys are saying their goodbyes. Obviously, that last day, like you don't know whether you're gonna see the guys that you've seen every single day for the past 6 months. Like you don't know if you're ever gonna see them again, honestly. Um, so it was very emotional. I mean, you put so much into the season. It's such a long season, and then for it all to end, it's difficult to go through. But I mean, that's obviously it's baseball. Um, but no, I mean, it was interesting for me because I didn't really know what I was doing at that point in time. I didn't know if I wanted to go into professional baseball. I didn't know what everything looked like. Um, but yeah, it was probably that next week we got to work, right? Like we had a good group of guys that stayed here the whole summer, and we were getting after it every single day in the weight room on and the hills, like everywhere. I mean, it the goal was again to improve athleticism, to get stronger, bigger, faster, stronger, so that we can come back the next year and do better than what we did the year prior. Um, but yeah, it was really emotional. We said our goodbyes and we got to work. That's pretty much
Yeah.
how it went.
Geez, that's a pretty quick turnaround. How was it the entire summer you guys were all I know I talked with Cole Messina, I think, last week, and he kind of mentioned, or Ethan Petcher, I can't remember which one, but they mentioned that you guys, most of the veterans on the team that were there last year were, you know, here for the summer and stuff. Was that kind of the case where you guys were just hanging out here all summer pretty much?
Yeah, for the most part. So in my case, it was a little interesting because I didn't know. Again, I didn't know like if I was going to professional
Yeah.
baseball or not. So my lease was up, I think in June, and the draft is right around. I think it's like July 7th now. So after I made the decision to like come back to school, I wanted to go play summer ball, but I couldn't because I needed to find another place to live. So so I spent that time period like figuring it out, like going and looking at apartments and stuff like that. But luckily I figured it out, and I got a pretty good spot, and I was able to stay the whole summer and work out and really better myself.
So I'm glad you brought up the whole decision with coming back to school and making or going to the draft potentially. I've always been curious about that, and I'm glad we're here to talk about it now and kind of get a better understanding of it. Take me through what it was kind of like. Did you get like any like, I don't know if how it kind of works with the whole process. I know there's like a combine and stuff now, but did you get like any like maybe evaluations from like scouts or anything of like your play? And ultimately, the question is, why come back to South Carolina?
Right. So the process, I've been through the process, I think, 3 times now. So you don't really hear much until the day of the draft. Obviously, you have advisors and agents and people who know what's going to happen, not know what's going to happen because you never really know what's going to happen, but they have an idea. So they were throwing like numbers at me and stuff like that. And for me, it's like last year was really the first year that I played. So, I mean, to me, it was my freshman year. So I felt like I could do a lot better than what I did. And with the numbers they were giving me, I thought it was best to return to school. Um, and it wasn't just because of the numbers. I mean, if you take into the like, I was really really unhappy at Vanderbilt, and it was to the point where I almost didn't want to keep playing. And coming to South Carolina, it kind of rejoiced that love for the game, and I found out that baseball was fun again. Um, it it really opened my eyes again, and I wasn't ready to leave. I wanted to do it again in pro ball. It's a grind. You got to play 150. You're playing in these random cities with 50 to 100 people in the stands. You bus everywhere. You get your meals aren't what they are in the SEC. Like when you stay in the SEC, you get treated nice. You get treated good. Our fans are unbelievable. We're playing in front of, I think last year we averaged what, like 7,500, something like that. Like you're not getting that until you get to double, triple A, and then once you get to the major league, it's like you get 35,000 a night. But yeah, I mean, you look at how you're treated, how travel is, facilities, and overall development. And for me, it the pro ball didn't seem like all that. So for my own happiness, my own sanity, I wanted to come back. I wanted to experience it all over again. Opening day is unlike any other. Honestly, it's electric, and you can feel the atmosphere. Um, no, but it pretty much boils down to my personal happiness and like what I wanted to do.
Yeah, no, that totally makes sense. And I'm sure, did you have conversations with your brother Tristan kind of about, because obviously he's been through it before with, going through the minors and now in the MLB with the Red Sox and stuff. How was the conversation with him about what you should do potentially?
Honestly, I didn't talk to him much about it. I kind of wanted it to be my own decision. I wanted it to make sense for myself. I didn't want to be persuaded by anybody other than myself. Um, I mean, we spoke about it, but I mean, the way he described pro ball was kind of how I said earlier. Um, it's not fun, right? It gets fun when you get into the higher levels, when you get paid as much as you do. Um, but when you're making $200 every 2 weeks or whatever it is, or $500 every 2 weeks, and you're living on a budget and you're bussing everywhere, you got two roommates, you 15-hour bus rides, like it's a grind, and you got to go through it in order to get through the system, and that's part of it. But when you have the opportunity to return to a place like this and get treated the way that we do and get the fans that we do and the exposure and everything like that, like it for me it made sense to come back. And on top of that, I get a degree. So I'm leaving here with a degree and a whole other experience.
That's awesome, man. Are you graduating in May?
Yeah. So yeah, yeah.
Dude, that's awesome. Hey, congratulations. Even if it hasn't happened yet, but that's awesome for you, man, and definitely important to keep education in mind. But focusing kind of on this season now, obviously you're back for another year. There's been a lot of change with the team, I'm sure you're well aware, with the pitching staff kind of. I don't want to say like an overhaul, but a lot of guys left, right? And that's kind of been something we talked about before the show, with you guys having to fill a lot of holes and stuff. How confident are you feeling in the pitching staff? And if I might ask, who are some guys that these fans should keep an eye on as opening day approaches?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like our pitching staff has a lot to prove, and I think they're going to prove it. Um, they work their tail off every single day. I mean, I see it. Everybody sees it. Um, and they've been performing well. I don't have any what's the word? I don't have any doubts with them. I have full confidence in them. Um, and just to throw out some names, um, we'll go Garrett Gainey. I think he's a Liberty transfer. He's pretty fun to play behind. Ty Good, he's from Charleston, right?
Yeah, Charleston.
Um, and we got a bunch of freshmen that are going to open some eyes. So, I mean, I missed a bunch of people, but I mean, just to throw out a righty and a lefty,
Yeah.
we'll go Ty Good and Garrett Gainey.
Yeah. Have those been the kind of guys? Because obviously in scrimmages, you guys are facing a ton of different arms every scrimmage. Are those kind of the guys that have like been tough to face, or is it just those are the guys that have kind of stood out?
Everybody's tough to face.
Yeah.
Baseball is a very difficult game, and we see you fail 7 out of 10 times, and somehow you're good. So, um, yeah, I mean, those guys to me, they're older. I think they have that veteran presence on the mound, and they know how to control their stuff, and they're very poised. So, that's kind of the reasons why I gave those guys. But we have a bunch of young guys that have electric stuff, and they're a lot of fun to play behind us as well.
Definitely. And with this offense, it's kind of a roles reversed, right? Because last year the pitching staff was very veteran heavy, a lot of proven guys, and the offense was, a bunch of transfers and then newcomers like Cole Messina and Ethan Petrie, amongst others. Now it's the reverse where it's the offense is, you have a ton of returners this year, like the guys I just mentioned, and pitching. With the offense, just what excites you the most about the lineup you guys might have out there?
Something that was really attractive to me, and obviously played a deciding factor in me coming back, was that we have a core group of guys that are returning and that are a year older, a year stronger, a year better. Um, I mean, you return guys like Moose and Petrie, and who else? Who else is returning? I mean, Tippett's coming back. Um, you there's room for growth. It's exciting to be a part of. I mean, we all grow together. We know each other a lot better than we did last year. So obviously that team chemistry is huge, and it's important. So I mean, just returning that core group is vital for our success.
Yeah, definitely. And with you, I wanted to ask. So in scrimmages, I've seen you've been playing first base and a little bit of third too. I'm sure that's not. I'm sure it's not the most difficult transition in terms of playing another position, but just take me through what that's kind of been like.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun, honestly. I get to work over there with Tao, and we talk a lot about defense. And I mean, he's played it a lot more than I have. So, I mean, he teaches me things every day. But no, I mean, the transition isn't too bad. I feel like it's very similar to first, except I mean, obviously the spin of the ball and stuff like that from a right-handed as opposed to a left-handed. It's similar, but at the same time, it's different. And the biggest thing that I've kind of learned over there is that it's the way you catch it is similar to first base, but you just have to find ways to organize your body in order to make that throw to first. And yeah, I mean, it's been a lot of fun. I don't feel like I'm doing too bad over there, but I mean, it is what it is. Obviously, it's not to like take anybody's spot or anything like that. It's just we need options. Versatility is important. Obviously, like I said last year, we dealt with a lot of injuries. So wherever I can be to help the team is what I'm going to do. So
No, yeah, totally. That's awesome. Is it something where, like, I mean, is first base still going to be like your primary position, pretty much?
I'm going to play wherever they tell me to play.
Yeah. No,
Whether it's first base, third base, outfield, shortstop, second,
yeah.
catcher, whatever they tell me to do, I'm gonna do to the best of my ability, and whatever I do, I try to be the best at. So, I mean, that's the kind of mindset I'm going into it with, and whatever happens, happens.
Hey man, that's the right mentality to have. Now, how hard could you throw on the mound though? Is the real question.
How hard could it? It's been a while, but I think I think I could pop a 90. I
Okay.
think I could do that.
Okay. So if we're in like a 15-1 game, and Kingston needs someone to throw on the mound, are you ready?
I won't throw like hard. I'll do the lob thing.
Yeah. Yeah. There you
I'll
go.
do the lob thing, but no, I that pitcher, I mean, you gotta condition your arm like no other. I mean, these
Oh,
our guys are throwing every day. They're band work, the drive line balls, manuals, whatever it is. They're in the training room all the time, and it takes one throw for to go bad, and I'm not willing to risk it.
no, I don't blame you at all, man. I don't blame you at
Yeah.
all. But with some of the new guys on the team, one guy I really wanted to talk about is Tyler Causey, who transferred over from UNC Chapel Hill, and I see he's been playing some first base and stuff for this team in scrimmages. What have you kind of seen from him, and what's that I guess competition kind of been like at first base?
Oh, he's been unbelievable for us. He is definitely one of our hottest hitters on the team. I mean, he is like an astounding 6'6", 6'7", and athletic, which kind of an anomaly, honestly. I don't know how he went 4 years at UNC without really getting time, but we're really glad to have him. He I mean, I can't say enough about him, honestly. Um, I mean, he flicks balls backside at like 109 and can pull side backspin a ball at 110. So, I mean, there's a bunch there's a bunch of barrel to play there. Um, no, but I mean, as far as competition, obviously everybody has competition. I mean, if we didn't, then we wouldn't be as good as we were going to be. Um, you go into it, you do the best you can. You do everything right, and everything will play out the way it's supposed to. Um, but no, I mean, it's been fun having him over there. No, I love him.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. And then another guy I kind of want to talk about. I learned this today. Jordan Carrion, who transferred from he was at Florida and then
Uh,
FSU, and now he's with y'all and kind of figuring out if he's going to play or not this year. But the question I want to ask, he and you went to the same high school, right? Um, how well did you know him before this year, and how excited are you to have him on the team?
uh, I've known Jordan for a while now. I think we first met when we were like 10. So I mean, I've known him for a good portion of my life, and we've been best friends since like high school, and continue like never like really lost touch. He's been like one of the only people that I really like kept in touch with. But no, he hit the portal, and that was like right around when the NCAA made that like two transfer rule. And I think he entered like the last day or something. And some of the guys on the team were like, "Yo, do you think we could do this?" And I was like, 100% like. So I called him. I was like, "Hey, like, do you want to come here?" He's like, "I'm there. Like, let's do it." And we got into contact with Monty and King and kind of shared our opinions and kind of made it happen. I think we're still waiting on the eligibility to go through, which I mean, we hope it all goes well. But that's up to the NCAA at this point.
Yeah, that's something that's out of y'all's control. But that's awesome though that y'all kind of grew up together and stuff. And yeah, that's really cool. But kind of with this season, I with basketball, for instance, with men's basketball here, South Carolina was picked last to finish in the SEC, and they've kind of used that to their advantage right now. With y'all, I just saw today the coaches' preseason poll came out for the SEC, and they've got y'all finishing fourth in the SEC. I just want to see if you would like to comment on that and what you kind of think of that.
So I had a question the other day. It was like, "Oh, you guys were ranked, I think it was like 20 something or something. like, what does that look like in the locker room? Like, what are you guys talking about? And the way I answered it, I don't know if it was bad or not, but I'm gonna say it again. Basically, these rankings, they really don't mean much, right? Like, a group of people get into a room together and they decide that these teams are better than these teams, this team is better than that team, whatever, whatever. But ultimately, it's for social media, it's for people to talk about, it's for entertainment purposes, which we're we're performers. We go on the field, we try to perform every day, and we try to put on a show for our fans. So the rankings, as from a player's perspective, mean nothing, and ultimately, the 56 that we play are going to determine where we're at. And right now, I think everybody is 0-0.
Oh, totally, totally. How awesome would it be long term thinking? Because Kingston talked about this a few weeks ago. Obviously, last year you guys weren't able to host a super regional. You guys had a chance to, but that kind of got swept away when you all had your kind of tough stretch in the middle of the season. How awesome would it be, and how beneficial would it be to host a super regional this year?
Yeah. No, I mean, that's the goal, right? You want to be a national seed. Um, I, I mean, environments are hostile, right?
Yeah,
Go on a road trip, you go to Clemson on that series. Obviously, that's a big one, but any SEC road series, that environment's hostile. You add a super regional on top of that, and oh my God, like that place is electric. Um, yeah, like I remember somebody telling me that Florida was like dead, right? Like they
yeah,
have old fans. They're not super loud. They don't really pack it out.
yeah.
And when I tell you that was the furthest thing from the truth when we got there, that super regional, like I was like, dude, these people are crazy. Like this place is nuts. Um, no, but that I mean, hosting a super would be ideal, right? Being a national seed, being top eight. Um, yeah, it obviously it gives that home team a huge advantage. You're your home ballpark, home fans. Um, you get to sleep in your own bed, wake up, do your routine, go to the field. You're in familiar waters. You got your cage. You got your whole everything. So, I mean, it's huge hosting a super. Definitely a huge advantage for the home team. But I mean, whether it's home or on the road, you got to compete. And bottom line, if you don't go out there and you don't compete, like you have no chance. So at the end of the day, yeah, it would be great to host a super. It would be great to do all that, but we're gonna control what we can control, and we're gonna go out there. We're gonna compete every day.
Definitely. Before I get you out of here in a few minutes, I want to ask you a few rapid fire questions real quick. Just starting off right off the bat, what's your favorite movie right now?
Favorite movie? It's been Wolf of Wall Street for a while.
Good choice. Good
Yeah.
choice. That is a classic right there. Who's your favorite musical artist, song, whatever it might be?
Drake.
Drake. Are we going to see some Drake for the walk up song this year, or is that to be determined?
Uh, I don't know. I don't know. I don't want to give anything away yet. So it's yeah. Let's come to the park and let's see.
Yeah, totally, totally. What has been your favorite food spot in Colombia?
So a favorite one of mine is Halls, which I mean Halls is incredible. But on the lesser scale, Colas. Have you ever been to Colas?
I don't think so. Where's that at?
Uh
Is that in it's in the city, right? Or
yeah, a little bit. I'm
uh,
not I'm not sure exactly where it is.
yeah.
I think it's on Assembly. It's
Oh,
on
okay.
that
Yeah.
road.
Okay.
So that place is unreal. Like that definitely is like my favorite, like not break the bank spot.
Oh, totally, totally. How often we go into halls, man? And what's the kind of cut you get on your steak? What kind of temp we looking at?
So whenever I go to Halls, I mean you gotta get the dry age ribeye.
Okay.
And me personally, I like it medium rare plus, which is like right in between medium rare and medium. You got to get a side of the. I think it's what is it, lobster mac and cheese? But I'm allergic to shellfish, so I could just
Oh,
take that
geez.
out. I think they just put like bacon in it or something, which is
Yeah.
crazy.
Oh man.
Um, I don't. I don't remember what else I get from there, but I mean, it's a few other things, but no, it never misses,
Dude,
never misses.
I've never been. I've been in Colombia for a few years now, and I've never been. So I gotta go. But
You gotta go.
for sure, for sure. Who is the funniest guy in the locker room?
I'll probably go Parker Nolan.
Okay.
Yeah, he's a character.
Yeah. Did you two get to play together when he was at Vanderbilt?
Yeah, we played together for 2 years.
Oh man, yeah. Kingston was
Yeah.
just saying yesterday he's starting at second base to open the season. So that's awesome. But last question with the rapid fire or whatever. Who, in your opinion, is due for a breakout year? If you had to pick one guy.
I mean, we talked about it before. I'm gonna say Tyler Causey.
Yeah,
I mean, what he's doing now is pretty crazy, honestly. Like again, an anomaly of an athlete, right? We've got him playing first, second, third. Like he kind of does it all. But no, I think he slotted for a pretty good year this year.
no, definitely. And last question of the night, with Garnet Trust and all, what is it kind of meant to you to be, a part of Garnet Trust and all that?
I mean, it's meant the world, right? You guys obviously you guys do a lot for me, and I appreciate everything you guys do. You guys are very generous. I can't say enough about you guys. You guys, we're obviously a part of why I came back, and you guys do a lot for us. And I honestly I can't say how much we appreciate it.
Totally, man. How excited are you for the season on a scale of 0 to 10?
We're not that excited, right?
Not
Like
that excited.
we've only been waiting what 7 months to do this.
Oh man.
So no, I mean we're ecstatic, right? We go to the field every day. We're competing, but I mean everybody wants opening day to come, and everybody wants to start competing against new people. Because I mean, honestly, like you get a little jittery and get a little jumpy, and no, I mean this is what we live for, right?
Yeah. Are you a guy that can't really sleep the night before opening day, or are you?
No, I can sleep.
Nah, you can sleep just fine.
I can
Hey,
sleep.
man, this was an awesome interview. Gavin Casas, everyone. Thank you so much, Gavin, for joining us on this Garnet Trust exclusive interview. Again, I'm Jack. This is Gavin, and yeah, thank you guys so much for tuning in.